Right, hi guys. So we are going to go into the setup menu now for the A6700. This is what I've done so far. Just to sort of put it out there is no RAW update yet for Adobe or anything like that. So at the moment I can't really shoot RAW. So at the moment I'm just in JPEG, extra fine, 26 megapixels. And yeah, so I'll show you what I've done so far. Obviously I'm going to tweak this over the next week or so, but this is the first little video just to show you kind of how I've set the camera up, and I'll be experimenting. Unfortunately the weather today was horrendous, so even though I did take a few photos, obviously it wasn't perfect weather, it was chucking down with rain, but I did test out the weather sealing a little bit. So anyway, let's go into the My Menu bit. So you've got the star menu up at the top there on the left, and you can add to it by going down to My Menu Settings and add an item over here. I've already added a load. So in my My Menu, I always have format in there. It's the most used thing I do in the menus. Obviously every time I go out I format the card beforehand, and then I have a fresh card to shoot with, and then when I get back I back them up. I then reformat the card after I've done all the editing and everything like that, to make sure that I've also got a other backup. Then I back them up again afterwards onto my website. The file format, so I can choose between JPEG and RAW. I've then also got the bulb timer setting. So this is a new setting that I've seen, I've only just seen. I don't think it's on any other cameras. It might be on the A7 IV or the A7R5. Possibly, I'm not sure. I don't know with it because I haven't used a couple of those cameras. But first one on here and first one I've seen, we don't have it on the A1, which is really quite annoying. But you go in there, and it means I leave it on all the time, because basically once you go above 30 seconds it's engaged. So you can actually set your countdown timer for your exposure. So up to 900 seconds available basically. So that's really quite good as a function. In there also I have monitor brightness. So if it's a really sunny day and I want a bit more punch on the rear screen, I can go to sunny weather and it makes the screen much brighter. Airplane mode, I'm actually going to turn that on. At the moment I rarely use any of the wireless functionality at the moment, the occasional go, but basically it will eat through your battery a bit quicker. USB, I can't even speak, blimey. USB streaming, I've not used it yet, but basically you can basically, it's one thing that's really cool is you can stream, so it'll probably to YouTube or Facebook Live, stuff like that, whatever you want to do, TikTok or whatever. But also you can record during the stream, so you can basically record your live footage, which is handy. Remote shoot settings, so basically when you are in wireless mode, so connect to your phone or your laptop or whatever, you can set the what size images and where it's going to and stuff like that, so it's quite handy. So they're the first things I've done. You've then got the FN menu at the bottom. So we are in stills at the minute, and there's two different menus. So basically I've set up one here for the minute, and then one for video. So at the moment we've got style, because we're in JPEG, we've got the styles, so we can go like into black and white, for example. So then we have a black and white filter as such, and then all these different ones here, so that's quite handy. I'm in standard at the moment. Unfortunately I can't use the touch screen on my recorder, so you can't see me swipe left or right, but you can swipe down, sorry, from the bottom up, and it will bring your FN menu out rather than push the button. But to be honest, most of the time I'm doing it via the viewfinder anyway, so basically, yeah, whatever. Metering mode, steady shot, recognition target. So basically at the moment I've got it on animals and birds, and it will just basically automatically swap between them, but you can be more accurate if you really just want humans. Imagine if you're walking around the zoo and you really only want and you're vlogging it or whatever, and you only want myself in it, and it's focusing on me all the time, to ignore any birds. Or if I'm doing stuff with my friend who's got an owl academy, so she's got owls and other birds and stuff like that, the focus would either set to the birds, not me. So if I set it to myself, we can have just me, and it'll ignore the other animals and stuff, which is handy. Manual focus button, and then we've got soft skin effect. So you can have obviously a softer skin thing when you are actually taking photos and stuff. Manual mode, the mode setting, sorry, which is in manual. Focus area, so it means we can change through all the different focus areas and tracking, etc, etc. Subject recognition on, so sometimes when I'm in studio and stuff like that, or even actually out and about, your camera will mistakenly recognize a shape as an eye or something like that, and maybe try and lock onto there. So sometimes if it happens, you just turn it off quickly. Silent mode, occasionally I might be doing silent shooting. Touch functions in shooting mode, which I've actually got turned off in a minute. Auto white balance. The auto white balance is, so if I'm in, white balance settings, but it's in auto white at the moment. And I've actually got it to prioritize whites, so it's actually really quite good. So it really does give you the pretty much correct color. But obviously if I'm in studio, I might want to set my white balance up, so it's very quick and easy to do like that, which is really handy. So that's the FN menu. If we now go into video, as you'll see, we've got the FN menu back again, but it's in a file format this time. So we can now, I can choose my recording level, so we can have in HD or 4K and all the other different levels of recording. My audio record level, so if I'm using the onboard microphones, which I'm at the minute, I haven't got my other microphone plugged in or anything, you have control over that mic level. If you have a microphone plugged into the hot shoe, you don't have that control, you do it via the mic normally. Here we've got the steady shot. We can have it on, off, or standard, or active. Active is almost like gimbal like apparently, so I haven't tried that yet, but that does crop in slightly, so I've left it as standard for the moment, and we'll come back to that. Again, recognition target, so you can choose all your different animals, from insects to planes, trains, and automobiles, isn't it? Humans, whatever. So that's handy. Focus mode, AFC, it's in 99.9% of the time. And then I have one of the custom buttons as a toggle on and off to manual focus. So it's really quick and easy if I'm just wanting to lock the focus for a particular reason. There we go. Frame rate, so at the moment it's 25 frames per second. Crop level, I presume this is for the auto framing. I'm not sure how it does it, but I've left that at the moment. So if you click in there, I've got small, medium and large crop, so I'm not sure until I have a bit of a play. That's there. Focus area, subject recognition on in AF. Auto framing, so this is the auto framing, so basically you can now do that, and it's actually come back into my screen, so it can go off, and it will basically track me in the frame, and it will actually zoom in on me and follow me around wherever I walk, which is going to be really quite cool to have. So that's one reason I actually bought the camera. Get out of there. Touch function in shooting, so I've actually got it turned off at the minute. Now I've turned it on by the dustbin button, so if I come in, that should be on. Oh, okay, so we can't actually control it while the HDMI cable's plugged in, so there's a couple of things it can't do. And S&Q, so slow and quick, which is basically slow motion video, high speed, frame rates. It means now I can click into there and we can choose my frame rate and what level of quality it is. So at the moment we can have it at, because we're in 4K, if we have it in HD we can up to 240 frames per second, depending on how you are, or 200 frames per second. And you can set it up there so you can see as it changes, and it also shows you how the minimum record time that you need to actually get that bit of recording done. So that works really, really nicely as well. So that's the pretty much basic setup in 5 minutes. Blimey. What else can we do on here? So go back into the menus. You have obviously my menu area, which is quick and easy to get into, but you go down to main 1 and 2, you've got all these other bits here which are, you know, you can actually set your stuff up, which is quite handy. Gamma assist and all that sort of stuff. So there's loads of other things you can actually change. Auto wind noise, I'm guessing. Yeah, auto wind noise reduction. I actually turn that off because Actually, no, I'm going to leave it on for the minute, because on the previous cameras with the microphones and stuff, it does cause you a little bit of drop in level, so it's not as clear as you'd like. But you know, proxy recording, which I don't really use. Obviously, white balance, we can change that to auto white. There we go. We can also adjust the ISO, your f-stop, your shutter speed, and everything on that screen there, if you need to. We'll come out of there, and that's your two things there. Anyway, we then go into all of your image quality, media file, and all that sort of stuff. So now you can actually write your serial number in each image or video, so you know which camera you use, I guess, which is handier in some respects. Your media, your format, recovery database, and display media info. Image quality, so we've got, at the moment, we've got the 4K set up on the video side of things. Movie settings, which will be what we can shoot with, up to 100 frames per second in PAL. I think it's 120 frames in NTSC, which I actually might swap over to and see. S&Q settings, basically we can set our frame rate and quality and everything like that, which is good. I'm not sure how high. 280, 422, 10-bit it can do. Time-lapse settings, I haven't tried this, but apparently it will basically make it into a video, I think. That's what I heard anyway. Again, we can have 422, 10-bit, which is obviously better. Frame rates, we can have 1 per second, 1 5 seconds, 2 seconds, 3 4 5. It will do interval times, so it's not ridiculous actually. But yeah, so basically you can have 1 every second to 1 every 5 seconds at different frame rates. So as you can see there, 50p, it's 4 minutes 10 seconds for a 5-second movie, or 25p, 2 minutes 5 seconds. So it was actually quite helpful there, and we can have it in that quality as well. So 422, 10-bit. It's quite an extensive camera, that's for sure. Log shooting settings, something I've not really used, so it's nothing until I have a proper read into certain things. I've not really, like proxy settings, lens compensation, shading compensation, have it on auto, chromatic aberration, auto. I mean, not many of my lenses actually suffer from that, but that little 18 to 135 might a little bit, not sure. Breathing compensation as well, which is quite a handy thing. So basically, if you're focusing from certain areas backwards and forwards, you'll see the size of the image change due to the lens design, basically. That's why there is different types of lenses for different jobs, basically, for filming and photography. But a lot of people now are shooting hybrids, so yeah, it's quite handy that. And that's one thing that this is where the firmware update on the A1, for example, hasn't happened. There's all these little bits in here that I don't know if they could squeeze them in on firmware. I don't know, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm benefiting really with this camera as well as on the A1, can do different things, and it just really works. We can have shooting mode, obviously got S&Q and all the recalls and everything like that, so you can set your memory. Silent shutter, so you can basically shoot in silent with no mechanical shutter. You've got anti-flicker set there as well. Audio recordings, so you can have all your different audio settings there. Time code and stuff like that, which I don't use. Image stabilization, so you've got it for filming photos, and obviously if you have so if I go to this one here, into the bottom one, which is actually ghosted out because I need to have steady shot adjust in manual. If I was to pick up I've got a Nikon lens, which is an 105 f1.8 manual lens. I can actually add the stabilization in on manually, and it will stabilize that lens, which is really, really quite good, and it does make a huge difference actually. Zoom, so you can have clear image zoom, which actually I'm going to turn on because in JPEG and on video it's actually very handy. I just need to set up a custom way of zooming in that little bit extra. So on video it's actually really quite helpful because it just crops in on sensor a little bit. So if you just want a little bit extra magnification, it's quite handy to have. Custom key Z speed, zoom speed, I'm guessing that is fixed speed, so you can have it really fast or you just have it, I mean, to be honest, I'll probably have it mid. Maybe have one on slow. Oh, standby and on fixed. Oh right, so actually, yeah, on record rather. So if you're on standby, it's probably best to have it fast so I can zoom in quick, and then maybe have it midway for zooming in. So remote zoom speed, so you can actually do it via your phone, I presume, or your laptop. Something else I need to try. Grid line display, so I've got it on rule of thirds, which is always really nice, and emphasized record display, I haven't got that on. Marker display, center marker, aspect marker, safety zone, guide frame, not had any of that on really. A shooting option, you actually got self timer of up to 3, 5, 10, 10 seconds. So you can actually, if you're recording yourself, I suppose it saves you the time of wasting a bit of footage, or if you're doing and you don't want to cut it, so basically you could put up to a 10-second delay timer on your video. So if you've got it on a tripod and you need to run around the other side and get into position quickly, you've got up to 10 seconds to do that, which is, I guess, quite handy. We shall turn that off though for now. Auto framing settings, so this is something I need to look into. So auto framing is where it will actually find me in the frame and actually zoom in on me, and then basically as I move around, it's almost like having someone follow you with a camera on a tripod or whatever, and basically keeps me in frame within that realms of your view of that lens. So it just kind of adds a bit of life to your images and your video. So yeah, so we've got small crop and everything. I've got the adjustments in the FN menu for that. Frame tracking speed, I'm going to leave it at 3. I'm not going to be running or anything, so move it and streaming, do not crop, HDMI out, crop. So that's something to play with. I haven't actually ever used that, and obviously it's I've only seen it in one other camera, which I think is the ZV-E10, I think it is, or E1, I can't remember which camera, the full frame one, and I think that is in there and it works really quite well. So that's one thing. Apparently it prioritizes if there's more 1 or 2 people in view, and it doesn't work in manual, so you just have to put it in P mode or auto and it will do its thing. So it's an automated thing. Auto slow shutter speed, which is handy in some respects if you want to kind of add a time-lapse view to your video, which is quite good. Exposure compensation, I shoot manual 90% of the time, so not really too much with that. Metering is, I just set it balanced. White balance obviously I've set already. Color tone, not really messed around with that much. Zebra display I don't use, I know lots of people do, but it's there. Your focus modes and your transition speeds, I've left it in responsive, I've not changed. And AF assist, I'm not looked into this, but it's there. I'm not really sure how that works. I need to have a little experimentation on this. Focus area, obviously you've got focus area limits, focus areas, focus area color, and AF frame move, something or other. Subject recognition, so you can have all your different subjects it will recognize and move to your left or your right eye. Focus assistant, so you've got your focus map, which I really don't understand. That is this color pixely thing that happens, and I'm not really on that. Peaking display I quite like to use personally. And then we've got all that play black stuff, which is fine, I don't really look at that much. And then we've got our streaming, connect to the smartphone, everything, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, pairing, etc, etc. Your wired LAN, apparently, IP address setting, okay. USB and LAN tethering, so that'd be interesting if you can shoot wireless or cabled tethering. Network option, obviously airplane mode and everything I've got turned on at the moment anyway. And then we've got our areas of language reset, operation customization. So this is where we set up our buttons like the FN, custom buttons and things like that. So we shall try. We've got the wheel. That's the button. I can't do the. Can I do the wheel? Nope. Oh, there we go. Here's the wheel. Oh, it's locked. Separate to. Oh, here we go. Separate to S&Q mode and video. The wheel. Control wheel. So what I'd quite like to do on this one is, if possible, which I don't think we have the options to, is zoom. No. Which is a shame, because you'd think it had a bit more customization, but it doesn't have it, which is a little bit of a shame there. But maybe it might take me a little bit of time to look into it a bit more. But anyway, we've got record with shutter button, which I don't use. I use the red button itself. So I've got two buttons there. Zoom ring, rotate. So that's part of the, obviously the zoom ring. So I'm not sure how I get it to basically zoom for like the clear and zoom bit without, not sure. Anyway, I'll have to have a look into that. Accessibility, screen reader. Basically, you can have it will speak now. So if you do have bad eyesight but you still love photography, you can actually get the camera to talk to you, and it will actually read out what settings you're in, the menus and stuff like that, if that's what you need. Select viewfinder monitor. We can basically, I've set the monitor brightness to 0, which I have done for years. Gives me the most accurate look to the images while I'm actually taking them. And display quality I've left high, and actually the quality of the EVF is fine. People have been whinging about it, but I think it's absolutely usable. It actually looks nice and sharp and clear, especially once you change it from standard into high quality as well. And I'll put a picture in the video and you'll see what it looks like. It's absolutely fine. It's just small, so you know. We've got display options. We've got loads of different things. Power, obviously, auto monitor off. You can have it will turn the monitor off after a moment. I leave it on generally. Power saving 1 minute. Power saved by monitor both linked, and auto power off high temperature, and that's standard left at that. Sound options, that gives you volume settings for your playback and also audio signals, which I've turned off so you don't get the do-do-ding when you push record and things like that. It's just annoying. USB, you've got your power supply and other connection stuff there. External output HDMI, which I'm recording through now, and setup options for sensor cleaning, auto pixel mapping, which I've got turned on. It tells you your version, which is your what the lens is and what the camera body is. Software update is now done via an SD card rather than having to plug the camera in via USB, so it's fully off the computer as such. And that's basically it. That's a quick look at the menu system. I know I've got to go back through it and actually adjust stuff, but I haven't used the camera enough yet to basically see what I need to do, and how I need to set the camera up. So obviously every camera and every photographer is different, so you learn by using the cameras and work out actually I'm missing that feature in the customization button. I could do so you adjust stuff on the go as you use it. And hopefully you can get the camera set up even better. I've only had it a few hours, so far I've done a few little things like I have on the A1. I've got a certain amount of things there. The FN button needs a bit of a tweak, that's for sure. It needs a few more things swapped in and out as I use it, and I just need to play with more of the settings, so which I'll do there. I'm going to try the 200 to 600 on it. I've already tried the 135G Master on it, which is amazing on there. Basically that's a 202mm f1.8 lens now, so it works quite nicely, quite good for wildlife and things like that. Other than that, it's an awesome camera, a really awesome camera. So anyway guys, don't forget to click the subscribe button, little notification bell as well. If you have got one on order, let me know. Are you umming and ahhing about it like I was? Now I've got it, it makes real sense in a lot of ways. I just need the weather. The weather today was rainy and horrible, so I'm going to hopefully be out tomorrow with it snapping away. Yeah, anyway, take care. See you soon.